What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rudy Rodriguez Showmont here with another edition of Yankees Unplugged, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. We talk facts over feelings. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know y'all thoughts. We're talking about Giancarlo Stanton right here, man. Giancarlo Stanton is one of the elephants in the room. I've already dropped a video about the guys that the Yankees have to dump. And realistically, Giancarlo Stanton is probably the number one guy that they have to get rid of. It's an unfortunate situation, but this guy has been carrying this colossal, horrible contract that the Yankees have had to eat for so many years right now. I'm from South Florida. I remember when he signed that deal with the Marlins. Heck, were the Marlins named the Florida Marlins at the time? I don't even remember if they were even the Miami Marlins yet. But he signed a 13-year, $325 million deal back in 2014. And the Yankees traded for him in 2017. Derek Jeter, I thought at the time, did us a solid because Giancarlo Stanton could hit the ball. I mean, there was no question that he could hit the ball. He was coming off of playing 159 games, hit 59 homers, 132 RBI, led the league in WAR, homers, RBI, slugging, OPS plus. He won the MVP in the National League. He was everything that you could imagine, hitting next to Aaron Judge, who that same year had bashed out 52 homers as a rookie. So you're thinking you got the second coming of the Bash brothers, right? Well, it hasn't worked out that way. It hasn't worked out that way. Both guys, I mean, Judge has had his share of injuries, but Giancarlo Stanton has been pretty much injured throughout the entirety of his career with the Yankees. He's only played one full season. And when I say full season, I mean he played over 150 games. He played 158 games the first year he was in New York. He hit 266. He had 38 homers, 100 RBI. All of his numbers dropped like off of a cliff. I mean, you went from 59 to 38. It just fell off of a cliff. He was solid, but he wasn't great. And the big problem with Stanton is that he really can't play the field. You know, he's been a DH now for largely most of his career with the Yankees because when he jogs to first, he pulls a muscle. After that 2018 season, he played 18 games in 2019. He played 23 in 2020. That was the COVID year. And then in 2021, he played 139, which was the most games he's played outside of that 158 the first year in New York. That year, he had 35 homers, 97 RBI, he had 273. But that's not who the Yankees traded for. That was not the guy. That wasn't him. You know, you were trading for a guy who was going to crush the ball. Up until he got to New York, yeah, he struck out a lot. When he got to New York, he turned into a strikeout machine. First year in New York, he struck out 211 times. He struck out 157 times in 139 games. He struck out 157 and 139. He struck out 137 times in 110 games, 124 times in 101 games, 143 times in 114 games. And this past year, he struck out 96 times in 77 games. He's one of the few guys that didn't strike out 100 times, but he only played 77 games. Like, think about this. This guy was a walking strikeout. 96 strikeouts in 249 at-bats. That's literally a strikeout every 2.5 at-bats. I mean, you think about that. That's atrocious. That's atrocious. He struck out almost 40% of his at-bats. He did finish the year with 24 homers in those 77 games, 66 RBI. He hit 273, which was a bump from last year hitting 233. The year before, he hit 191, which is, you shouldn't even be a professional baseball player. let alone a guy making $25-30 million a year. The year before that, 211. I mean, since 2021, his batting average has basically fallen off of a cliff until this season where he hit 273. But Giancarlo Stanton is a liability at this point. He's a liability. This guy's contract goes through 2027. So we're stuck with this dude for at least for 2 more seasons unless they dump him. His contract has a full no trade clause. So in order for the Yankees to trade him, he has to okay it. Can they cut him? Designate him for assignment? I don't know if they can or not. I presume they could, but then they'll be probably stuck on the hook for the entirety of what's left on his contract. So some people might say just let's let it run its course, but it would be a better situation if the Yankees could find a way to trade this guy somehow, just somehow. And looking at it right here, actually, there's a club option in 2028. I cannot possibly imagine that the Yankees would exercise a club option on him in 2028. He's due $19 million this year. In 26, he made $32 million this past year, and in 27, he's actually doing only $15 million. So it was a contract that went like this, peaked, and then came down. All right, but the elephant in the room is here. The guy just doesn't play, and realistically, when he does play, he strikes out every other at bat. So what the hell are the Yankees doing with this guy in a lineup that already has a truckload of strikeouts? Wouldn't it have been, I don't know, an idea to play Jason Dominguez this year at DH? I mean, that might have been an idea. You have a guy in Stanton who can't run to first, can't run to second, can't run to third. He needs the ball to be hit for a double to score from second. And you're always worried that if he runs too fast or too hard, he's going to hurt himself. Because that's what he's done now for the last 6-7 years. Like clockwork, he's always injured. I mean, we're at a point right now where I don't think it makes sense to try to keep this guy in hope. I like Giancarlo Stanton. He's a nice guy. He comes across as a nice guy, but he's never produced what would have made the Yankees devastating in the middle of their lineup. If you look after the 38 homer year, I'm not even looking at those 2 seasons of 18 and 23 games. The 18-game season, missed the whole season. He had 35, 31, 24, 27, and 24 homers. That's not the guy that hit 59 bombs. I mean, even from an athletic standpoint, he did play in the outfield when he played for the Marlins. He did play in the outfield. But for the Yankees, he's pretty much a designated hitter. He did get some time in the outfield when Judge was dealing with his elbow situation. But that's like you're praying that this guy doesn't blow it. You're praying that he doesn't trip on a blade of grass and blow out his groin or his quad or his hamstring or something that makes him unable to play. Because the Yankees have gone out of their way to not try to utilize somebody else in that role. Anybody can be a DH. Anybody. You find a hitter who can't field, make him a DH. They didn't want to play Jason Dominguez this year because he couldn't field, in their opinion. But then you didn't play him at DH. You barely played the guy. I mean, he played 123 games. But realistically, I mean, he hit 257. I'd rather have that in my lineup than a guy hitting, these guys are hitting 211, 210, 190, 200. And then in the playoffs, Jason Dominguez doesn't even see the field. Dominguez could have played the entire season at the position. Would he have given the production that the Yankees were hoping to have? Probably not. I think he's still recovering from the elbow situation that he had himself. But we've gotten to a point here where we have a lot of players who are just not, they don't fit, they don't work, and it's time to go. You don't need a guy who's going to strike out 200 times in a season if he plays the whole season. You just don't need it. Not bombing out 55 homers. If Giancarlo Stanton can't bomb out 50, 55 homers, striking out that level, then what are we talking about? The amount of opportunities he had in the playoffs, he was horrible. He was horrible. Last year, he was great in the playoffs. This year, atrocious. I'm not here to speculate about replacements because there's a lot of replacements. There's a lot of guys that I would be looking at for this team. There's a lot of guys. And the first thing I'm looking for with the Yankees is a bunch of contact hitters. I'm looking for contact hitters, guys that don't strike out. I know that's a hard ask in today's baseball where everyone thinks striking out is cool. But I want guys that are going to spray the ball to left field, right field, all over the field and get on base, steal bases. Look back in 1996, the Yankees had one guy hit 29 home runs. They had two guys that hit 25 homers or more. Think about the fact that Aaron Judge combined, those guys hit one homer more than he did this season. That was Tino Martinez with 25 and Bernie Williams with 29. But those guys didn't strike out. The only one guy struck out 100 times on that team. One guy. You know who it was? Derek Jeter. The Yankees have 9 dudes who struck out 100 times this year. 9. 9. Everybody who played pretty much struck out a truckload. And some of them are forgivable. Others are not. Guys like Jazz Chisholm. Guys like Anthony Volpe. Those are unforgivable because they're supposed to be spray hitters. But they try to be power hitters. There's been moves that were made by the Yankees today, which, whatever. They fired the third base coach. They fired the first base coach. They fired the bullpen coach. Who cares? Who gives a shit? That's throwing blame on somebody else. Aaron Boone has been making these calls all year to put Giancarlo Stanton in the lineup for no damn reason. For no reason. And I'm going to tell you right now, Gleyber Torres is a free agent. He is a free agent. He's a free agent. I wouldn't be against bringing him back to replace Jazz Chisholm. I'm dead serious. Some people might say you're crazy. I would not be against bringing him back. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be against it. Is it the first decision that I would make? Probably not. But I wouldn't be against it because, for one, he made the playoffs. He was their leadoff hitter. He was the Yankees' leadoff hitter at a lot of times. But now he had sports hernia surgery. I'm reading right here, so hope he's healthy enough by the beginning of next year. Just Jazz Chisholm was a strikeout machine. And I know that Gleyber does strike out some as well, but he struck out 101 times. Jazz Chisholm struck out like 140 times. I think it's interesting that Torres' strikeouts dropped from 136 to 101, leaving the Yankees and going to Detroit. Find that ironic. I find it ironic that his walks jumped by 20. I find that ironic. So what does that say about the hitting coach? The hitting coach should probably get fucking fired too. Gleyber Torres was a solid player, but we always complained about him being lazy, right? We always complained about him being lazy. And what happens? We get a guy who might be lazier. I mean, legitimately might be lazier in Jazz Chisholm. But this is all about Giancarlo Stanton, realistically. Looking at, Kyle Schwarber's a free agent. Now, he strikes out a truckload as well. Marcell Ozuna is a free agent. So there are guys that can do exactly what Giancarlo Stanton did and not strike out as much potentially. But realistically, I'm looking at someone that gets on base. I'm looking for someone that gets on base. It's that simple. the free agent market isn't crazy in terms of elite talent. Just looking at it right now, it's not crazy elite. There's not any earth shattering guys that will change a franchise. But what the Yankees need to be looking at is a guy who can get on base. I mean, I'll give you an example. Alex Bregman is a free agent who can opt out. He probably will. The Yankees should have gone after him last season, and they didn't. And I'd be looking at him. Bo Bichette is a free agent. If the Yankees aren't looking at Bo Bichette, who's 28 years old, hits 300 to replace Anthony Volpe, like there's so many guys out there, but I mean, I can go through a list of guys. But Stanton's contract has got to we got to get rid of that contract. They got to find a way to trade him, even if it's trading him for nothing. Trade him for nothing. See if you can pay a piece of the salary and they'll eat the rest of it, whoever it is. Maybe they can hand him back to the Marlins and he can retire a Marlin. And I like Stanton. I really do. I do like Stanton, but I like winning more. I like guys who are available to play more. And Stanton's not available to play, and he hasn't played at a high level in almost a decade. Like you're talking about 2017. His first year was his best year, and it wasn't an elite level. I mean, 38 homers, 100 RBI. That's a really good season. Not when you're coming off 59 and 132. Not when you're coming off of that. And he wasn't hurt, which made it worse. Most of that year early on, he just looked like trash. And he picked it up as the season went on. Because playing in New York is different. There's a lot of pressure. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Do you think Stanton should be gotten rid of? Do you think they should be dumping that contract? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. This is Yankees Unplugged, powered by Come On Now, the podcast.